When it comes to your personal brand, just make it personal, right? I love cooking, so I talk about cooking. I love
Okay.
music. I make music, so I talk about that. Like the more flavors of you can bring into your personal brand, I think the more people can connect and relate.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, great
Um,
to see you.
you too. Thank you. So I have a bunch of subjects in the health and healing field. Should I choose one and make that my brand and focus on that? Or should I be the brand and
Right.
then just do all the different things that I
What are
have
the 3 to 5
been?
subjects? What are they like?
Well, I have a intentional soup show kind of course, some stuff around birth and postpartum. Um,
Intentional soup?
yeah, intentional soup is that's the brand I was working on. So that's
What is
um,
that?
healing. It's healing through the art of soup making. Um,
Okay, nice.
going in, working with food and bringing food from farms to people, and also making the soup itself, but putting intentions in and healing.
Nice.
So that's like my big thing right now that I've been doing. But then all the other things too, I'm not sure if I should just like everyone says, focus on one thing, and so
Hmm.
that's the thing that I decided last month I'd focus on.
Right.
And then this morning I was like, well, maybe I should do all the other things. And so I'm just confused. Like,
I
should
get it. I
I?
totally get it. So like give me so the intentional soup we had postpartum something.
Yeah, I have a birth film that I made. So it's like healthy birth, pregnancy, postpartum. So I have
Right.
stuff around that. And then I'm a healing arts practitioner. So I have stuff around living a healthy life and um, all of that.
Right.
So,
And what is your brand about? Your
well,
personal brand?
well, that's what well, the thing is, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out like how to put it together. And it's like, is it about me? And then I just teach these things, or
Right.
am I like, should I just do one thing and teach that? So
All right.
that's my
This is a great
confusion.
question. This is a phenomenal question because this is exactly where I am right now.
Uh,
And it's a struggle that I'm very familiar with. And I'll tell you what I'm doing and
okay.
what my strategy is. And I will be honest, I have not made it work yet, but I am convinced that I will. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is, right? So I have Simplero, I have PAFI, the workout program. I have Body Meal, a meal replacement powder, and then the sort of my own coaching and my own brand, right? And the for me, it's the same thing. My brand is sort of what ties all this together because I'm about business and entrepreneurship. I'm about health and relationships and creativity and living your life purpose and integrating spirituality with sort of the concrete, practical day to day. I'm about all of those things. And so the strategy that I'm going for is focusing. So my focus business wise is definitely on Simplero, right? That's where the money's coming from. That's what has the momentum. And so I want to build on that momentum and really double down there. And then that's going to help elevate me and my personal brand, right? So that gets to feed off of Simplero, but my brand is bigger than that. And so that lets me then talk about these other things. So, and then the other, like there are people who are going to be just super interested in the workout, right? And then they hear about me there. And so the
Right.
idea is that each of these become a business in their own right. They bring in their own set of customers, but then once you're a customer of one of these brands, you're going to kind of hear about the other things, right? And so that helps customer acquisition costs across the brands, and then that helps build my brand. I think it's easier to build your brand off of a concrete business than it
Mm-hmm.
is to just be like, I'm going to build my brand sort of in
Right.
the abstract. So that is my strategy. And like, I'm also in that like, well, what is my brand about kind of thing? It's like, oh, I'm trying to figure out and narrow down. And the funny thing is that I know, and I've known for 12 years, but there's still that part of me that keeps getting confused and
Mm-hmm.
thinking that it's about other things, but it is about that. For me, spirituality, entrepreneurship, left brain, right brain, like the logic and the mystery and combining those and living in that intersection. So yeah, I bet that there's a similar kind of like, well, this is what I'm really about, like this one thing.
Right.
And it goes again and again, you know, that's the through line through all the specific businesses that you do, right? Or specific offerings that you have. But I would say, I same thing, like when I told my mom, who's on this call, that I was going to do Body Meal, she was like, well, shouldn't you focus? And I'm like, yeah, I should, but I don't want to, right? Like,
Right.
And what I found was that it was a distraction from Simplero, but it gave me so much inspiration and so much excitement to try. I've been doing software my entire life, and now I'm doing this physical product that has actual inventory and manufacturing and a completely new business that I know nothing about. And so the excitement of trying to figure all that stuff out was, you know, just unleashed energy. And then I learned things that I can then apply to Simplero, you know, on all levels, marketing and team and strategy and whatnot. So yeah, be aware that, yeah, it is a distraction. So what I would do in your case is pick one, probably that might be the intentional soup, maybe one other that you're really passionate about, and then focus on getting that piece up where people end up following you personally for you. And then hear about, like, discover the other stuff. You don't need to push it on them, like, but just make it easy for them to discover, like, oh, she's also doing that thing, right?
Right.
And that really helps to like, you know, oh, he's a software guy, but he also does music and he has this health product. Like, how does that work? Like, it just, you know, adds some depth to it and makes people curious.
Right. So the brand, so Intentional Soup is the one I was planning on. So that would be my brand, what I focus everything on.
That would be your primary business.
Oh, primary business. Okay.
Right. And it has its own brand, but then you're also part of that brand. And so you use it so that people hear about Intentional Soup, and then they're like, you know, Christina, who's this Christina person? And then they follow you. And then Christina also talks about all these other things. Like, when it comes to your personal brand, just make it personal, right? I love cooking, so I talk about cooking. I love music, I make music, so I talk about that. Like, the more flavors of you can bring into your personal brand, I think the more people can connect and relate. I wouldn't narrow down my personal brand. I would make that just personal, but you, the things you care about, right? Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Thank you so much.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What up, YouTube? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, even if you freaking didn't, hit the subscribe button so you get more videos from me, and also hit the bell button so you get tick, 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 notified whenever there is a new video from me. Thank you very much. I'll catch you next time.